Hey, g'day folks, how are ya? Something is completely different today. What's happening is it's not really my show, and I really appreciate everybody that's watching right now. Basically, Jamie Ira from Creative 7 Inc. in Toronto, Canada, has a show called Creative Spin Podcast. And I've been lucky. My name's been pulled out of the hat. So that's what you're watching right now, guys, is an interview with Jamie and myself that we've collaborated, and it's all about me. So without further ado, let's go over and say g'day to Jamie. How you going, mate?
Hey, how's it going? How's it going?
Yeah, really good, brother. Really good. How? Let's see. Now, I'll go. I guess to the best one is that one for both of us. So,
There you go.
thank you for calling me.
Well, it's one of those things, you know. We've been talking about this for so damn long,
Haven't we?
but we finally managed to find some time, and especially because our time difference here is quite interesting.
Yes.
We've got about 13 hours in between us.
That's right. Yep.
You're way in the future. I'm still in the past. I don't know. Somewhere in the middle is where this recording is being done.
Yeah.
So,
Good on you. That's it.
all right. So, iSpike, welcome to the Creative Spin Podcast, my friend.
Hey. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you to the old lady for cooking your dinner.
Yeah, she's around here somewhere. I'm not going to say anything
Don't say it too
rude
loud.
because
Yeah.
she'll just
The frying
whip that.
pan will come across. Yeah. I don't
All
actually.
right.
Do I have them? Yeah, I think I do, isn't it? No, that one there.
Yeah, so there you go. The sound effects are there. I was just gonna say you have a whole bunch of sound effects going on all the time,
I
and
do, my
the whip
friend.
is definitely one of the most famous ones.
Yeah. This is showing on camera there because we've changed the camera a little bit behind me here, and
Yeah, this is super amazing. I mean, you're definitely the first guest I have that has on the other end all of these toys and gadgets and capabilities of getting all the video and all of the audio and all of these fun things, because you are a creator on your end, and you've been playing around with this new field of YouTube and Facebook Lives, and oh my God, you name it. We're going to get into all of that stuff. I think it's going to be really, really cool
Sweet.
to dive into all of those adventures that you've been kind of diving into.
too right,
You know,
mate.
and the energy level. This is what I love about you, man. This is why, you grabbed my attention. The first episodes I was watching from your live streams here on YouTube, and it's like, okay, this guy's crazy, and I love him.
Hey, thank you very much, Jamie. I mean, one thing I must say right from the get-go at the top here is I love that T-shirt, mate.
I know this is we're sporting the same T-shirt. We're in the same team
Same
today.
team,
We're in
brother.
the iSpike team. There you go. Some merch going on.
We co-
Amazing stuff.
We call it, I think, together. Together we could say the world domination.
World domination. That's it.
Yeah.
So,
I've actually got a
iSpike,
little
for
mate.
those-
I got a
For
little
those
mate.
viewers
Go on.
and people that are listening to us
Yeah.
that don't know you yet,
Oh, of course,
yet,
of
and I know
course.
yet because they will be jumping onto your channels,
That'd be
which will be
great.
down in the description below.
All right.
Tell us a little bit of your origin story. I know you sent me I have a whole whack of pages here
Yes.
that you sent me, which is again very organized from your part. Most people don't give me anything, and I'll be honest, I like diving in and asking questions, but this helps a lot too. I have most of the information, but I want you to kind of give us like a 2 second. 2 second might be not enough, but a 2 minute rundown of who iSpike is.
Sure.
Where did iSpike
Sure.
land? Because obviously it was from some distant planet far, far away. and where did you land, and how did everything start?
Sure. Let's I guess, because I mean people can go right to I was born in and whatever. Excuse me, hang on a sec. Sorry about that.
Oh, look at this technology. He's able to even shut off the mic. Like, this is all, we're a pro level right now. We're at pro levels here.
Hey. I got a few tickets on myself here. Okay, in answer to your question, Jamie, and of course to all your listeners, thank you very much, listeners and watchers, for your time. Both I and Jamie here on YouTube giving a good old crack. As you can see that there's a little bit of grey coming through in both of us. We're at a stage in life where it's just fantastic, and it just seems to be getting better. I guess, Jamie, I had a bit of a, let's see now, I want to remain and stick to all the positives. I think that's important. You can talk about old war wounds and bits and pieces, and I guess we'll dive into a couple of little things later. But no one really gives a shit. Excuse me. No one gives a crap about you know if you've got a cold or whatever. So my YouTube experience going back about 18 months now. I was prior was 18 months is when I started. So let's just say a couple of years now, and I started watching YouTube a little bit here and there, thinking this is pretty cool. This is better than television. And I can look at things that really interest me. And one of those things was drones. And there's a fella I really dig. I think he's a cool guy. His name is Russell, and his channel is 51 Drones. Now, not everybody are into them, but I guess what the bit I liked about drones, and here's my little baby here, my little Ferrari Mavic Pro.
Oh, look at that, looking good.
Yeah, it folds out and does a heap of stuff. Well, it's not so much the... It is a lot of fun, but it's the aerial photography, the aerial, the point of view, the actual camera in the sky. And I really liked it. So, hang on. I've just got a bit of a hiccup here, Jamie. If you can still see me and everything's going on, you can still hear me.
We can still hear you.
Cool.
You're still here somewhere.
I'll go to that camera.
It must have been a seagull that was flying through the signal and just...
I'd say so, because this has happened before and everything goes blank and goes out and then it comes back. So it's just coming back online.
The power of post-editing is going to be amazing.
Yeah. That is going to really help, isn't it? Let's just let that do its own thing at the minute. So, oh, I lost my ear. Okay, remain on track, stay focused. Okay. So I was inspired, and then I thought, well, I'm gonna have a go at this, because I mean I had a career of, prior to doing this, in open pit mining. That's another story, and nothing to do. I didn't really pick up a camera, had no idea about editing, all that sort of stuff. And I thought, gosh, I can do that. This looks good. I am semi-retired. There's illnesses that are there that we won't crap on about, that are in the background, that are how would you say, not limits, but it's just how I roll. Anyway, as a result, I'm thinking, what can I do with my life? I have a beautiful wife. Our son's growing up.
So you found yourself a hobby.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Pretty much, exactly. And I've gone from, over the past 18 months, really, getting stuck into it as the potential to actually go full time with this sort of thing. And that's where not branching out from the enjoyment of experimenting, making videos about my trike, which let's have a look at that. We've got that over here. So I've got
yes. So the bike world is definitely another one of your passions.
Yeah.
And you've always, I'm guessing you've always been a biker, and now you've got this trike that is an amazing machine that we're able to look at it right now.
Yeah.
And that brings us not only from, so now, since you brought it up, I have to bring it up as well. It's the not only YouTube section, but you're also doing a lot of stuff on Facebook, specifically for the bikers and trikers, because you've got yourself a nice Facebook page that is all about that as well.
Yes. I guess that after about a year on YouTube, I was thinking, how can I, because as we're slowly developing the brand, How can I branch out into the world of multimedia or social media that's available out there? Prior to doing that, I'd never had Facebook. I really sort of wasn't interested in it. And I have found since it sort of drives a little bit of traffic to the YouTube channel and the videos we have here. But also I found that it in itself is its own entity, the old Facebook. There are not a lot of people that are into Facebook that do YouTube, or into YouTube that do Facebook. There's not too many people that do the both. I'm having a bit of a crack at both because of just the broadening my horizons. You know what, Jamie? What's my purpose? My purpose is, mate, is to entertain, bring joy, and put smiles on people's faces all around the world. That's my purpose. That's my, I've had guys that have, different supporters, or if not subscribers, that have actually emailed me or talked to me in the live chat and said, you know what, mate, your show got me through a week in hospital. And I laughed, and you're my savior. And things like that, man, just brings me almost to tears of, wow, what joy that I've been able to go on my silly old merry way, and help others have a good time, have a bit of a smile.
And I agree with those comments and that, because one of the things that kind of drew me in to your channel was actually that there wasn't any of this gloomy kind of situation where, let's talk about what's going on and no, you were like full of energy, and you just wanted to laugh, to smile, and to bring that into people's lives, and that's what kind of drew me into your channel, and hopefully, to all the audience that is listening to us right now and watching us, if you do have a chance to check out iSpike's channel, you'll see what I'm talking about. The energy is definitely there. And then what I liked about it too was you want to stay connected to your audience, but you're taking it to the next level. You're bringing some members of your audience to your show, which was really, really cool, and is really, really cool. What you're doing is, you're having that conversation with people in your channel live. I've been a part of that.
Yes.
And I thank you for that, for inviting me over.
Look, mate, thank you.
And it's been fun. It's been fun. You're having that conversation. And the really cool thing is, because it's live, you see the interaction on the comments right away. It's such a living, breathing thing, a channel that really can put out there that positivity that you were looking for. Now, you just said it. You started this about 18, let's say 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
What actually kind of sucked you into this? Like, how did this all happen? Like, were you on your phone one day, in the front porch, and you said, "What is this icon?" And you like, how did this happen? Man?
Yeah, it was sort of something like that, man. Because I live in the middle of nowhere in the central area called the Central Wheat Belt. That's as close as we'll get to it. The Central Wheat Belt in West Australia. It's about a 3-hour drive from the city. So it's sort of in the middle of nowhere, big farming area. Population of my little sort of town is 9 people. That's right, 9 people. When my wife and I leave, there's only 7 people. So, small little town. Love it, man. It's like permanent camping. So a little bit like, I'm not much of I used to be getting into it in the drinking and the social bit. But living here, we like our bubble. We're very private people, but this is a great way of social interacting. It's like you get out there, and when I put a live show on, it's like having a party, and people from all around the world can come along to that party.
You're just opening that special door you have right there for everybody to come in, right?
Yeah,
that's the whole analogy of it.
Yeah,
right?
That's it. And of course, we've got little old mate, which we haven't even introduced him yet.
Welcome to the
Oh,
wild
yes, we've got
side.
Skully there. Skully is the mascot of the show. So if you're just listening, you're missing out. You have to go check
Yeah.
out the YouTube channel
You're definitely
because
going to have to
Skully
watch
is
that.
quite a character and he's been developing. I mean, and I've seen that development lately. So he went from your buddy that you had there on the desk to an
Yes.
actual 3D animation, living, breathing
Yeah.
mascot.
Hang on, hang on.
So there you go.
You little ripper.
So one of the things that I've actually seen in your with your channel is that not only you started this as a way to, I'm guessing, and correct me if I'm wrong, but as a way to connect with people outside of, obviously you just said you're living in a small town.
Yes.
But now you're all of a sudden being able to connect with people all around the
Yeah,
world.
yeah. I love it.
And I guess at a certain point you said, this is kind of fun, this is kind of cool. And you put, you got yourself into another gear. It's like, okay, let me do this seriously now.
Yeah,
and let
yeah.
me dive into it. So how has that process been? Because this shit isn't easy, right?
No,
We know
man. Talk about till your head in, brother, Yeah, go on.
I mean, we were just having the conversation just before we started here, like all of these cameras, the audio, getting things to work properly is one of those things that it's not an easy thing to do. So from your perspective, how has that ride been?
Okay. I think what's happened, Jamie, is how would you say, like you come across me and you go, oh, look, I got your attention. Well, basically, I'm getting the attention of a few different people around the world. One particular, his name is Nay, and he did have a YouTube channel called Interactive DNA, which is now closed down. He's just way, way, way busy. He is an AI and an AGI expert. Was it artificial general intelligence is the AGI bit. And basically that's building stuff so that that AI in itself has its own brain and can learn just like a human and make it all happen. So he's pretty damn good. And he's also a graphic designer and all the rest of it. He has taken me under his wing. He's probably dedicated, God knows, about 100 hours or so into, maybe more, probably more, of behind the scenes stuff over the past 6 months that has really put all this graphics and helped me create my brand. He works in Hollywood, California, and he doesn't like to talk much more about that. But he's there. He's at the pinnacle, and he just brings people, different ones, under his wing that he knows that he can help. So basically, without him, he taught me OBS. He taught me a little bit of Photoshop. He taught me, gosh, man. These basically, I'll show you this, everybody. If you're watching, for the viewers, I'm showing my studio, which is a little bit you're getting to see.
Which is quite impressive, the amount of screens you've got around you and all the equipment and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And to get all of that connected and working at the same time and doing the right things, it's quite impressive.
The matrix of working with the Rode Rodecaster Pro mixing desk. We've got the MSI GS75 Stealth, which is one of the latest laptop computers. Pretty hefty there. A couple of 27-inch monitors on near the real estate, as you can see. With this the various different. The software side of things to be able to see it rather than cramming it up. Over here, like you, is the 27-inch iMac, and this was my original. I used to have actually a Dell laptop, and it was quickly worked out that it kept on crashing and it wouldn't work. So anyway, so we got the iMac. I loved it. I had it for about a year. And then I met Nay, and basically I've gone over here, and all this stuff here, and some cameras and other equipment that you can't see. It's probably about an Australian investment of equivalent to about $20,000. So
it does not come in cheap. And for those of you who are just on your treadmill or just walking your dog, I'll paint the picture. It's essentially, pretend you're looking at a spaceship with all of these screens. It's kind of like a Star Trek.
The cockpit. Yeah, I like to say it's a cockpit of a jumbo jet.
There
And
you go.
yeah, you know, you get a little bit of effects going on there. You know?
It's got the light effects.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
if you're just listening, you definitely have to jump into the to this week's podcast online and go to your YouTube channel because you don't know what you're missing here. But continuing on, like this has been. I mean, you've always been kind of into the entertainment side of things of life, right? Even from a younger age,
That's right.
you were always kind of touching that. And I guess, do you see this like the evolution of that part
Yes, man.
of
Yeah,
your
yeah.
life?
Let's do a bit of a quick skip for everybody and for you. Basically, in my 20s, I got involved in let's call it cabaret. If you can, I mean, perhaps in Australia they're known as more popularly known as Manpower, or in America more popularly known as Chippendales. Well, now
There you go.
what's going on
We
there?
have to show some of those pictures. No, I
Yeah,
don't
and
know.
I've got some old VHS video that I haven't yet digitally transferred, so we're going to do that, and that's coming up later in the year, you know, because that's going to blow everybody, the audience, out down the track. So anyway, basically, Jamie, I went from one thing to another with the showbiz side of things. My introduction into the entertainment world back then. I guess just briefly prior to that, as a young one, I was a bit of a clown of the class, I guess you could say, and that type of thing came naturally to me as a kid. So hence the showbiz side of things, we managed to smash that. I went from doing that sort of ladies' nights type of cabaret work into theatre. I got employed with doing musicals and plays, that sort of thing, as an actor. I did modelling.
Okay.
We did a fair bit of modelling, both TV, radio, and catwalk. And then I had my own company, which sort of had DJs and various sorts of entertainment. So it was a bit of a general entertainment agency, I guess, I suppose. And I'd get out there and get in amongst it myself.
So you were basically always looking out for that spotlight.
Ah, man, look at me, look at me. Before this, what do they call it now? What's the generation called now, Jamie? Millennials. Before the millennials, I was a bit of a selfie person back then, you know. but it's a little bit different here in Australia, I guess. Just plodding away. I did become, I guess, nationally known. I was flitted around the country here, different interstate sort of stuff, and I could sort of give a small tab of international because we did a tour for about 6 months in New Zealand. And that was back in the 80s, man. Whoa, giving away the age there.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that was really cool too. So
Back in the good old days.
good
that's
old
what I
days,
say.
man, good old days. But you know what? It was sex and drugs and rock and roll, Jamie, right? And you may hear this from some of the big boys. One of them in particular was, I think, Axe. I think I heard it from Axe from Guns N' Roses, or Ace, or whatever his name is. And he said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Well, basically, with the sex and drugs and rock and roll, which it was, and I did a good sort of 15-year section of my life, the drugs bit, to be honest with you, mate, the drugs bit got the better of me. I lost the plot, went downhill, things went a bit crazy. So I had beautiful family around me. I uprooted, did a geographical, which I found was the best thing to get away from, the temptations and all the rest of it. Did detox, rehab, and then I sort of had a bit of a blank sort of phase in my life. I was looking at probably my mid-30s at this stage, or late 30s, sorry, mid to late 30s. And then what happened was I went back to school, Jamie. I went back to school, mate. And I, with an adult sort of learning environment, and I got myself a diploma of community services and a diploma of community services youth work and another third diploma of a thing called alcohol and other drugs work. So what I did then with that education, that took probably about 2 years to get those. What I did then was I became like a counsellor, I suppose, a youth worker, and I actually worked in a youth detention centre. So I was like a person that went in.
So you actually were able to use the experiences you had gone through to now you basically switched things around, and you were able to now utilize that let's call it bad experience in life and now turn it into a good experience by being able to help other people.
Yeah, because I guess like one little bit that
situation, right?
Yes, sorry, Jamie. One little bit that I missed out in there, that little Lego piece, was that after the education, what I did was I thought, what am I going to do now? And I combined my old showbiz days with my newfound education and qualifications. And what I did was I actually put a play together. It was only it was one-man show, and I called it Drugs, a Personal Experience. And what happened was I managed, and during this time, this was all done in Tasmania. Tasmania's a little island down the bottom of Australia there, and I lived there for about 8 years. So that's where I went to get healthy and get good. So I put this little play together called Drugs, a Personal Experience. And I did a couple of churches, some schools, and a few different places here and there. And the media got hold of it, and I was on the news. And as a result of that, there was a local government youth detention centre that got in touch with me and said, "Would you like to work for us?" And I said, "Yeah, man, fantastic." So I got that gig, did that for a little while, and then the actual government then wanted me to be, and I said no. I look back, and it's probably one of the decisions I should have perhaps said yes. But that was to be the statewide youth, community services youth officer for the state, for the whole state. And that was just like, whoa, man, whoa. I shared the position with one other, so there was two of us that would be doing it. And yeah, I let that one slip through the hands, but that's okay. Then what happened, mate, was all of a sudden there was some roadworks that was close by to where I was working, and I sort of thought about looking at this. Now, this is interesting. They're advertising for a job, just for the old lollipop man, the stop go. And I thought, and I looked at, and I thought, excuse me, how much are you paying? So I thought, man, oh man, I'll give that a bit of a go. So I did, because it was only just like 10 minutes from where I lived back then. And I ended up going from one thing to another there. And I probably got a good, I don't know, I can't remember now the actual number, but I know it was longer than 10 years career. And that, I guess I went through getting my tickets in all of earthworks, mining, roadworks, environments, all of the machinery. I got pretty much all of the equipment, excavators, dozers, graders, loaders, all sorts of things along those lines. And then I became a supervisor of open pit mining, and I did that for a wee while here in West Australia. I mines all over the shop here. That'll be all mining for iron ore and gold were the main two sort of ore bodies that we went for, and that was really cool. And then I got crook, mate. And I was diagnosed with advanced terminal stage 4 lung cancer with only 12 weeks to live. Now, this is 7 years ago, mind you. And of course, that was back in 2012, Jamie, or 8 years ago now. And that was like, what, a big WTF moment, brother.
Yeah. And we're just going to stop for 2 seconds.
Sure. Yep.
And we can continue now.
All right. Hey,
so
I've got the wrong thing.
My man, your life story is quite interesting. It's been like going from one side to another side. It's like, whoa. And now all of a sudden, boom, this thing happens. You go to the doctor, and the doctor sets you aside, and he starts talking to you.
Yep.
How was that? Like, and we don't want to get into being negative or sad. We want to turn this around, because this happens unfortunately to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we need to look at these experiences that you've gone through and many people have gone through, and we need to always, I think the best way to look at these things is through a positive lens, right? Because the power of the mind is also something that I think everybody really, really underestimates. And I believe that if you have a positive mind, if you have a positive vibe of yourself, that is going to help you tenfold. And I believe that was a lot of what happened with you. So please let everybody know about your story in that sense.
Sure. There was some issues going on. Now, I've got to sort of verify a couple of things here. For those that are watching, yes, I still smoke cigarettes, so I'm a freaking hypocrite. And those that are listening, you just heard it. So we'll move right along from that point. But I just want to let you know that I acknowledge that, and I'm happy to cop a kick up the arse in regards to it. And we'll work that out. There's something that I will eventually let go, but right now that's what it is.
One step at a time.
Yeah,
that's what I say.
that's it, man. That's it, you know. Anyway, moving right along. I was sort of having like, I was swelling up in certain areas all around my neck and things like this and what's going on, you know. So I had a diagnosis initially of, you're just putting on weight, mate. And it's like, what the, you know. So I tell you guys, if a doctor tells you something and you don't think it's right, go and get a second opinion. So about 3 months went by, another 12 weeks went by, and I thought, no, this is not right. I've got to go to the doctors again. So I went to a different doctor and whatever, and he said, righto, let's do some scans. Got some scans, come back after an MRI, and yes, as I said before, his diagnosis was iSpike. I don't like saying things like this, but I need to tell you need to get your affairs in order. You've got advanced terminal lung cancer with about 3 months to live. And I was in shock, I guess, at that moment, and I thought, what the hell, you know. So anyway, let's bring this story to a quick one. With 12 weeks to live, right? I called my wife up. She came from her work straight to the surgery. She heard it from the doctor herself. We both went outside, cried. Then I drove home. I went to my neighbour. I said, mate, can you look after all my guns, please? Because I like guns. And just in case I got stupid in my head and decided to do something silly. So I gave them to him, got rid of that temptation, and just was in a bit of a bewildered mode. So what pursued the 12 weeks thereafter, which was when I'm supposed to die, is this was a blow-away one, Jamie. I tell you what, really, really amazing stuff is when you ring up the funeral director and you ask him to come around your house and have a cup of tea and talk about your own funeral and say, right, yeah, cremation and what, you know, can you bring the box that I'm going to be in and all this sort of shit. So we went through that. It was pretty full on, man, yeah? And I actually had some, I don't know what they call it, over here they call them silver chain or something. These 3 ladies that were like just come from freaking heaven. And they sat around the table with me and they said, look, don't worry, we will look after you. And all this sort of stuff like that went on in the early days. Okay, 3 biopsies later, the first 2 being inconclusive. Now we're getting close to about the 11th week, right? So I'm supposed to be dead in about 7 days, according to the original diagnosis. And I'm mentally, emotionally, I'm all cried out at this stage. I can't cry no more. And where I live was a beautiful, beautiful place down the southwest, actually. It wasn't where I am now. And beautiful views from where on the front porch and that. I had some gorgeous special stuff. We actually had a wake prior to my dying with a whole bunch of people. They all came round and celebrated my 50th birthday a little bit early. And it was such a great shindig. It was really, really good. A shindig, I guess, is a get-together or a party. Something like that, what we call them down here, then the third and final biopsy came in, and that one basically, Jamie. Oh man, they used a 12 centimeter, which would probably be about 8-inch prod thing that they went through my back, through my ribs, into my lung, took out a scoop like a little ice cream scoop of my lung because the X-ray in my lung was a shadow that was as big as your or my fist. Right, a man's fist or a big orange.
Oh, wow.
So that's what was the reason why that my doctor assumed. You know, he shouldn't have assumed. He just should have said, you're really sick. This is what we found. We need to find out exactly what it is. That's what he should have said in the beginning. He shouldn't have said what he said. But anyway, he said it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I had in the end the diagnosis, the real proper thing was Hodgkin's lymphoma. So I had a blood cancer. And it swelled up my, I was 1 in like 1,000,000 or something like that, when it swells up your glands. And there was a gland in my lung that swelled up to become that big. And also there's one in my neck as well. And if I showed you scars, which you can't see, they cut my neck open, they pulled out all the crap from there. And I was on chemo for 1 year, chemotherapy, and also had about, it was about a dozen zaps and that was even worse than the chemo, of radiation. And between the two, man, bam, here I am these many years later.
Wow, what a story, man. What a story.
Yeah,
This is a tough one, but I think bringing awareness to this stuff is also something that, it's important. It's important because, like I said, there are a lot of people going through different stages, different aspects of this stupid disease. And and it's important to hear stories like yours because they're inspiring to see that, yeah, you go through all this bullshit, but you came out and things are good now, and now we're at this stage where we're here on YouTube talking about it, and this is the amazing part of this whole journey is being able to go through all of this and come out the right way.
Yes,
right?
yes, the right way, man, the right way. I guess that's where it gives you a bit of an answer. I guess having that experience, even though yes, the smoking is a real dickhead of a thing, but let's just put that aside for the minute because it won't be there forever. But I got a sort of, and it may sound hypocritical, but like cigarettes, guys, not everyone dies from cigarettes. Just remember that, I've got family and friends and others that are 100 years old smoking all their life. So let's not go there with that. The army of anti-smokers. Let's just forget about that side of it and the cancer association with that. Although it doesn't help, it's there, but that's just me and my story. But anyway, I had an element of enjoying feeling the sun on my skin, man. The simple bloody things. Earth underneath my feet. The breeze that wisped against me. Those sort of the rain, the smells, the tastes of stuff. Those sorts of things were brought home, the value of them and the appreciation of them were brought home to me when you've actually been sitting on, when you've been told you're on death row, that sort of shocks you into gear, So, and I mean, we're talking about, where I was about, just 49, 48, 49, 50 was the age of all this happening to me. Now, yes, so a little bit is probably that experience has made the man that you see today, and a little bit why I'm a bit, how would you say, when I talk, how I have a thought and turning that thought into a spoken word. Sometimes there's too many dead ends because, I mean, the chemo killed off the cancer, but it also killed off a fair few pretty brain cells. I that's why I didn't go back to work a little bit.
It's the side effects.
Yeah. I have issues with sometimes communicating, although the magic of the green button, in my case, for recording, we're on air, it's happening, it's all go, seems to break down all those barriers, man, and I just flow and can talk. As you know, Jamie, and those that don't know and are listening, Jamie's the creative the creative spin pod family, podcast family that are listening. My longest live stream, which is unfortunately not published because Google only archive up to 12 hours. I had this conversation with them. But anyway, I did a solo show, just like we are now, you and I, but except it was just me. No guests, no cutaways to other videos, except towards when we were in the 18th hour. We did a couple of different guests who were in the chat, and we played a couple of their videos as far as the thing. But otherwise, it was just me talking and playing a bit of music in my studio with my 3 cameras for 18 hours, man. And I reckon
You're a savage.
I reckon that's like a world record, brother. There's there's people that have said, oh, no. I've seen people do 24 hours and 36 hours. And I said, yeah, righto, let's a bit more. Please tell me more. Yeah, there was 4 of them, right? 4 people. And they did cutaways and they did this and this and that and that. So, no, they did not do what I did. And that was a solo performance without too much frills and bells and whistles, just what I've got, me in my little old studio here, and cranking it out. I tell you, it was very hard to talk thereafter. It was like, hello.
I can imagine it was a hard one to go through all of that. So iSpike, what does the future look for your channel or for your channels? For your streams, for your videos. Like, what is the future, the near future looking like for you? What do you have planned?
Sure. As you can see with the studio here, we've built it up. So that was quite a bit of a thing. So now that it's built, my passion, my desire, my goal, let's go back to that one, is to probably do about 4 shows a week, maybe 5, maybe even 6, build it up to, and they're going to be shorter formats. So we'll be looking at probably around about the 1 hour mark, and I'm going to have a program within that hour mark that'll have sections, very much similar to Joe Rogan. Those of you that are familiar with Joe Rogan on YouTube there, and in America, the celebrity that he is. So I do like that format, Jamie. And what I'm going to be doing with my particular program is I'll have a guest spot, a regular, we'll pre-arrange these different people. And then I can chop them up and make many little videos from the one live stream. So that's one thing I'm going to do there. A couple of the other live streams will be on Facebook, and it'll be a bit like a radio show, a bit like a vlogging type show with video and but based around sort of playing music and stuff like that. So rock and roll and that type of thing. Just imagining like people in clubhouses around the world or driving their vehicles, whatever. And they're here cranking up the music. That's sort of what I'm all about. And if you're watching it, very similar to, I guess, what you're doing, Jamie. And if you're watching it, then you get to see the visuals as well. So that's sort of that side of things. Then I'm really, really passionate about, and I've got one here, and I only just got it as my first real camera, is a Panasonic GH5. So I'm a couple of years behind the 8 ball. But I like Rode, and Rode likes me, so we're really cool there with a bit of gear there. And I've got that camera, and I'm really keen and looking forward to branching out from back into what I used to do in the beginning was make videos. So
And you have some really good editing going on there. I watched quite a few of them, and yeah, I'm glad to hear you going back to that, because I think that that's a good side that you have going on. You've got this artistic eye, so you know what? Use it. That's what I always say.
Yeah, good on you, Jamie. Yeah, I mean, I'm teaching myself as I go along. Lots of YouTube tutorials, all that sort of thing. The editing, I had absolutely no idea with any of this. And just slowly but surely, lots and lots of hours in this chair, making it happen. And but I do want to get back out there, and like you say, the videos. I think YouTubing. I mean, how would you say, live streaming alone is one thing. But I don't think it's as far as value for the audience. You can do more. You can do more. I want to bring sort of more into the fold as an entertainer, as an entertaining channel, so that people know that this is the schedule, and they can tune in, like watching a sort of particular program on a weekly basis. Tune in, what's going on with this, and that, and that. And it is possible. It is possible. I'm in the stage of life now, Jamie. I like to say it's like my last third. And I'm looking at like the decade. I really like that sort of numbers. The decade of 2020 through to 2030. So far, the 18 months, 2 years, whatever, has been a testing ground to get to this point. And I believe this is a bit like a brand new beginning right now, that we have the tools. We have the means. Houston, we have the means. We can go to the moon and back, no problem, So, and collaborating.
And we'll be here to follow you and to see where you're going to take this ship of yours, and where you're going to sail. Yeah. I mean, we've gone from alien spaceship, now we're into boats, but it doesn't matter. It's all about the journey, right?
It is, man.
We're going to be here to follow you.
Good on you, Jamie. Good on you, and vice versa, man. I wish you and Anna all the very best, man. I've enjoyed watching.
Are you talking about the old lady? Is that?
The old lady. Dear. Watch out for that frying pan, man. It's coming.
What's gonna happen? I don't know. No. iSpike and his sound effects. iSpike, thank you so much for doing this. This was such a fun conversation.
Excellent.
And I'm probably going to be jumping into your channel eventually later on tonight or next week, because it's just so much fun to be there as well. So as long as you're okay and hitting that button, letting me in the door, you know what? I'll be there, and hopefully a lot of my audience will kind of jump into the bus. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to watch iSpike's channel. That's all I'm going to say. So keep that little bit of curiosity. Jump on the bus.
Jump on the bus. Spell bus backwards.
Once again, all the way from all the way from Toronto, Canada to Australia. Big hug, and let's continue this friendship at a distance.
Yes.
One of these days I will be paying you a visit. I swear to God, I'm going to go there, get myself on top of one of those kangaroos and just go.
You river man, I'll organise a couple of emus. We'll have a bit of a herb around the paddock and a couple of emus.
There you go. All right.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of the show. The listeners, thank you, listeners. Support Jamie. He's freaking awesome. And looking forward to a bloody fantastic future. So thank you, world.
All right.
And Jamie.
And for everyone, just don't forget to hit that subscribe button, the comments as much as possible. I love the comments. And and that's it. We're off for now.
All right.
Later.
World domination.
And we're done.
Cut. Thank you so much, Jamie. This freaking awesome, man. I'm about to just wind up my little thing here. That's all good. Yeah, you got to press your buttons behind the scene there. So that's all good. That went really well, didn't it, mate? You happy with that? Because this is pre-recorded for for the audience watching my video. This is a pre-recorded event, and Jamie at the other end over there, we decided to sort of do a double collaboration thingy here. So Jamie will edit up his, and I'll have the links in the description of this video when I publish it. Once Jamie's got his up and running. So yeah, thanks very much, guys, for watching this little podcast interview, a little bit more of a deeper dive into what I'm all about. And perhaps maybe down the track, I might do the interview again and ask Jamie the questions, and we can find out a little bit more about this man.
Ooh.
Oh, so Jamie, my friend, before I stop the stream here, or stop my video, let's see now what's going on there. That's decided not to work. So I want to make you big, which is that one. Is there anything you'd like to share with my audience, brother?
That's
perfect. I love it.
Listen,
Yeah.
we all support iSpike, and I think that's the message. It's I think people need to understand that we make it seem. We don't make it seem. It is fun to do what we're doing, but it's not easy to do what we're doing in terms of the technical side and the time spent and all of that. So, it's great to see the support. And when I say support, I'm not saying, you have to buy merch or you have to do that. No, it's about a lot of times, a simple word, a simple sentence saying, supportive sentence it takes you a long way from a creator's side. So for all of the people that are watching your channel, I mean, it's amazing to see that, because when I'm on the other side as well, and I see that, I feel like that's really, really cool to have that friendship from people that, they're from all over the world, and it's kind of mind-boggling to think that way, right? Mm-hmm. But this is the world we live in today, and I think that if everybody supports everybody and helps them in this journey of ours, I think it's always going to be a fun one.
Bringing joy to all around the world. So Creative 7 Inc., Jamie, a creative. Hang on, I got to say it nice, little proper sentence. Creative Spin Podcast. There we go. Creative Spin Podcast.
Gotta say it with the energy. It's got Creative Spin
Podcast. Yeah. Hey. Like Canada. Hey.
I know, eh?
So let's. I'll just end that one there. I'll do a hooroo to my audience. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, man. And like Jamie said, do the jump on the bus and all that sort of stuff. And I guess that's my one and only call to action, guys. Watch the more videos. Watch. Enjoy both Jamie and my channel. Thank you very much, everyone. Hooroo.